The polling module can be used to create online votes, polls, surveys and quizzes. You can define who can access and respond to each and define date ranges for them to be completed. You can create a poll, vote, survey or quiz. A vote typically means that an action will be taken as a result of the preferences shown in the vote. A poll can be used to get an idea of what the general preference is. No action will be taken, it's just for interest, usually a single question with multiple choice answers. A survey can have more open questions, such as what do you think of X, with a free text answer. And a quiz is a series of questions for fun which could be answered individually rather than as part of one form. To access the polling module, you'll need to log into the admin area of your website. Scroll across the tabs to Contacts and then scroll down the sub-menu and click on Polling. If polling is not enabled on your website, please contact us and we'll discuss enabling that module. You'll then be presented with the polling homepage. There are 3 sub-pages. The first is Active, and this shows you all the polls which are currently active, which means that they are open for responses. On the recently completed sub-page, you'll see all of the polls that are now closed and are no longer available for responses. On the upcoming page, you'll see any polls that have yet to open for responses. Going back to the active page, you can see here that we currently have on our sample site 4 example polls that are open for responses. The first is a vote, the second is a survey, the third is a quiz, and the fourth is a poll. Scrolling down the page, we can also see any results for open polls. We'll only see results where there's been at least one response to a question. So let's look at how we create a new poll. In this example, I'm going to create a simple survey to get some feedback on the galley at our sailing club. Click on the Create button, and then under Label, we need to select what type of poll we are creating. Is it a vote, a poll, a survey, or quiz? We've already decided it's going to be a survey, and I'm going to call it Galley Survey, so it's a nice simple title. You can also add a description if required. The next thing you need to decide is, do you want this survey to be visible or not visible to users? And you can use this options tick box to do exactly that. A tick in the box means that it will be visible to users. Unticking the box means that users will not be able to see it or respond. You can also control when users can see and respond to the survey by adding an open and close date. If you leave these fields empty, the survey will be immediately visible to users and will remain visible forever. I'm going to include a start and end date in my survey. So by clicking on the open field, I now have a pop-up calendar. So I'm going to select the 10th of October, starting at 0000, and I'm going to end my survey a week later on the 17th of October at midnight. Scrolling further down the page, we then come to the presentation of questions. Do we want all the questions to be presented on a single page, or would we prefer each question to be presented on its own page? I suggest that you will probably want to leave all questions presented on a single page, so put a tick in the box. Scrolling further down, we can then set further restrictions as to which users can view and respond to the survey. I'm going to leave all these restrictions blank for this survey, but I could set a lower age limit or an upper age limit. I can set whether they must be an active member or not. I can set the membership type. On our website, we only have 2 current types of membership. You may have more. And then you can also select any tags to restrict access. For example, if I wanted to restrict access to this survey to only people that have been tagged with PB2, I could select the PB2 tag, but I'm going to leave them all blank. I then click Save, and on our home polling page, we now have created our galley survey. but you'll notice that we have not yet created any questions for the survey. So that's the next thing we need to do. So click on the title of the survey. This takes us to the Galley survey homepage. There are two subpages, the setup, where we can add questions and set up our Galley survey, and the results is where we can see the results of our Galley survey. Obviously, we've not set up our Galley survey yet, so there are no results. So going back to the setup page, we can start adding questions. Click on the Add Question button, and the first thing we need to do is to actually add our question. So let's add a simple question. Do you think the Galley should remain open? This is a simple yes/no type question. We can add a further description if we feel that there's more information that's required with the question. But if not, the next thing we need to do is decide on the style of question. Do we want a voting style of question where the user selects from a series of options, a rating style question where the user provides a rating, or do we want a free text field where the user can enter free text? We're going to select a voting type option, and we want the options to be yes, no, or agree, disagree. So we're going to say that as it's a vote, there is only one vote per user for this particular question. We could make it a secret ballot if we wanted to by clicking this box, and this is ideal if you've got an AGM type vote or a serious vote where you want the users to remain anonymous when they respond. We then click to save that question, and you now see in our Galley survey homepage we have our question here. Do you think the Galley should remain open? For a survey, a poll, or a quiz, the default options are agree, disagree, or abstain. And if you're doing a vote, the default options are for, against, or abstain. So let's add another question. And this question we'll do a rating. So we'll say, please rate our current Galley service. This time we're going to select rate, and I'm going to select the option rate it from 1 to 9, and the minimum label I'm going to change to be poor, and the maximum label to be excellent. So our users can rate our service between poor and excellent on a scale of 1 to 9. I don't need to worry about voting this time because this is a rating question, and again, it's not a secret ballot, so I'll save that. And let's add one more question to our poll. This time we're going to find out what drinks our users would like to be able to purchase from the Galley. So let's have question, what drinks would you like to be able to purchase from the Galley? Again, we could add a description if we wanted to. And in this question, I'm going to give the user 6 possible options to select from, and I'm going to allow them to select multiple options. So I'm going to leave it as a vote, but this time each user can have a maximum of 6 votes. So they can vote for one or all of the options. So I'm going to now save that. But you'll notice on the options that the options are agree, disagree, or abstain. So I need to click on the question and then go to the Add Option button. When I click on the Add Option, all of the existing options will be deleted and a new set of options will be added. So we click on Add Option, and my first option is tea. So that's going to be one of the options of the things that they could purchase from the Galley. I'm going to save that. I'm going to then add another option of coffee. And again, on each of these options, we could add a description. So decaf tea, continue adding all of our options. So at the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 options. So I'll add 2 more options, which is squash and one final option, which will be hot chocolate. And if I save now, we can see that for our question, what drinks would you like to be able to purchase from the galley? It's not a secret poll, and the number of votes per voter is 6, and we have got 6 options. We could make the number of votes less than 6 if we wanted to, but in this particular example, we want them to be able to select all the drinks that they would like to be able to purchase from the galley. So that completes the options for that particular question. So I'm going to go back to our galley survey, and I'm going to add one more question. And this question is going to be any other comments, and I'm going to allow the user to respond using a free text dialog box. So I save that question now, and if we look at the list of questions, we have the 4 questions. Do you think the galley should remain open, which has options of agree, disagree, and abstain? So that's a voting type question. Please rate our current galley service, and that's a rating question. Ratings from 1 to 9 with our poor and excellent labels. What drinks would you like to be able to purchase from the galley? Again, is a voting question, but this time there are 6 options to choose from. And if you remember, we allowed users to select up to 6 options. And then any other comments, there are no options for this because it's a free text box. If we had added descriptions to each question, the descriptions would appear in this column. So we've set up our questions for our survey. We've set up the dates. We're now ready to run the survey. So if I switch over to our website, and I'm currently logged into the website, and I select portal, I can then scroll down to polls. And when I click on polls, I should be able to see all the polls that are currently active. And right at the very bottom there is our survey for the galley survey. So I can click on start, and you can see that all of the questions for our galley survey are on the same page. The first question was a simple vote. Do you think the galley should remain open? I think we should keep it open. Please rate our current galley service. If you remember, we set this up as a rating question. So I'm going to say our current galley service is excellent. And then the next question was, what drinks would you like to be able to purchase from the galley? And we gave the user 6 options. I like tea. I don't like coffee. I don't like decaf tea, but I do like squash and hot chocolate. So my response is 3 items. And you can see that I have 3 choices remaining if I wanted to select all of the options. And in any other comments, I can add some free text. So I'm going to say, excellent galley service. Please do not close the galley. And then I can save my responses. So that means one user has taken part in our survey and sent us responses. So how can we see those? So if we go back to our admin site and we go back to polling, we can see all of the active polls that are currently running. And if I scroll down to the bottom of the page here, so here's our survey, and in the any other comments question, there's my comment, excellent galley service. Do you think the galley should remain open? The results there, we've had 1 vote that agrees it should remain open. In terms of the ratings, we've had 1 vote for excellent and no other votes for any of the other ratings. And in what drinks we'd like to purchase from the galley, you can see that we've had responses for tea, squash, and hot chocolate so far. We can also see the results by clicking on the actual survey and then clicking on the results page. And there you can see a summary of all of the results. I hope you found this tutorial useful. For further information, visit the Sailing Club Manager website, where you can search the knowledge base, search the support forums, or alternatively, if you have further questions, contact our support team.